Hello, this is Block A Burn coming at you with my very first Abyssal Void attempts. And this isn't quite going to be my normal first attempts type of video. And for all of the wrong reasons, unfortunately. For some reason, and there's no way to explain why this happened, my recorder decided to increase my microphone's gain by 30 decibels. So my first attempt doesn't have audio. My second, third, and fourth attempts do, but it's so destroyed and distorted that I can't use it. So I'm going to voice over that footage instead. So you must be wondering, it can't be that bad, Block A. Come on, just use the footage. Okay.
It's not as good as Yokai Peaks music. Hello, Adalis. Oh my god. You look awesome. Oh, at least I got another dragon off. That's all that matters.
And the best part about all of this is the outro has perfect audio. And what I'm going to do is let the live footage of the outro play, since that audio was perfect. You know, the audio where nothing was actually happening, that is the audio that worked. So enjoy the voiceover. I figured I would just go ahead and only cover the footage of the first attempt where I actually cleared this dungeon. This is actually my fourth attempt of this dungeon. Third one being on insane difficulty, since my first attempt of this dungeon officially was actually on nightmare. You always want to start on nightmare difficulty, if you can, in my opinion, just to gauge what the hardest version of the dungeon is, and see how much of a dent that you can make into it, so that when you attempt again on insane difficulty, you're already quite aware of what to expect, and things will be considerably easier, obviously. First couple of rooms are fairly difficult only because of the tight spacing and all of that meat in the mobs you see. But almost all of their spookiness is negated by a singular healer. Their design is solid enough, but nothing absolutely spectacular. Some are just evil versions of Gilded Skies enemies, which was expected. Here, in the first boss room, you get the grand hall of mobs everywhere, just waiting for your precious presence. The boss is also included in this mess, except you won't know it until you damage it enough to make it transform into its actual boss form, which is just a more grotesque version of itself. The boss is easy enough once you learn it. And this is a first for Dungeon Quest, I believe. There is a sliver of parkour for no reason at all. And this isn't necessarily fake parkour either. You can fall off the map in this dungeon. But you know what? I welcome it. The next couple of rooms are more or less clones of each other with slight variations. Some particular enemies that are tedious in these areas is the Void Shade and the Reaver. The Void Shade teleports to you to attack you, and you can't always damage it, which commonly leaves it as the last thing you will have to kill in the room. And the Reaver is the prime candidate to throw your living status away, as it will stop you from moving and pull you into it if it catches you. Which will make you, well, I don't know how to say this, slightly open to the attacks from the other 46,000 mobs nearby, especially on nightmare difficulty. So you don't want to be pulled in from one of them. Then we must fall a couple of inches down into this room, where there's plenty of things hanging out and waiting. I guess I'll talk about the design of the dungeon now. It is good, but it didn't blow me away, which I was expecting. I think most of the items you drop in this dungeon are very nice looking though. Better than Yokai Peaks, I'd say. The map is kind of a crossfade between Enchanted Forest and Gilded Skies with an underworld mutation theme. I haven't played it long enough to truly appreciate how it looks yet, so I don't know if it's better than Yokai Peaks. But to be fair, it's also hard to pause and look at the map when you're actively being chased by a bunch of Tinky Winkies. And now we're in the middle of the second boss, named Tea. Named after a goddamn drink. This is going to be the single biggest problem you will have in beating this dungeon, is this second boss. Kind of reminds me of another second boss. Tea will attack you with moves that are fair enough for a while, and then they'll do it. The Blade Barrage move. Good luck dodging all of that, especially when Tea is still going to be attacking you while it happens. Not a second later after Tea is dead, and you will have 50,000 mobs surrounding and actively hauling ass after you. On hardcore, this will be one of the most challenging parts in a solo run, especially as your moves will be on cooldown when this happens. One of these said mobs is a smaller and weaker version of the exact same first boss from this dungeon. So don't worry, you'll have plenty of meat to smack at and destroy. And now we get to Adelius? Adelius? Adel, yes? However the hell you pronounce it, will come flying in from the Gilded Skies boss throne and eat half of the platform you're standing on. This boss looks awesome, I'm not even gonna lie. Adel is not very easy either, but you can at least counter most of its base attacks. That is, while you're not getting attacked from the other mobs it spawns. It also has a Blade Barrage of its own, but this one is a little bit more manageable to dodge, at least if you don't have other mobs trying to get in the way of that. And don't worry, you can also fall off of this platform as well. Also, it has a shield from time to time, which, I mean, you won't even notice once you're strong enough to kill it fast enough. But on your first attempt, you will notice it. Was the shield really necessary, Voldex? I don't know. But we're finally coming up to the end of my first win, and I will let Distorted Blockade take it from here.
Get! Oh my god, 7 seconds. And I don't even know what I got. Oh, let's see. Warrior. A weapon that's worse than what I have. And what else did I get? I don't know, but that doesn't look like a mage. I'm just telling you now, that red right there, red is not usually mage. So I got absolutely nothing for my first attempt. Isn't that fabulous?
Alright, champions. I think my work here is done for today. And what I'm going to say now, it is quite the step up from Yokai Peaks. In terms of difficulty, I'm not entirely sure it's a better map overall, but it's definitely more difficult. And I beat it with just the sliver of my hair left in time remaining. That was pretty intense. And it's not like I'm weak, by the way. That was my loadout to beat that. Although I switched to this one at the very end. So that was insanely close. So it is possible to solo. I will give it that. I mean, I did it. It wasn't very easy. So, yep. Good dungeon, I'd say. Second boss is trash. Absolute hot garbage. Final boss, I don't really like how you can't kill it much for some periods of time. That's not very fun. It seems like the entire motive behind this map was just throwing the entire kitchen sink at you in attacks and just hoping you have groups of people to help you. Because I can tell you now, it wasn't easy by myself. I just had to crank my health up enough so I can just eat attacks. But I did it. So, Abyssal Void has been conquered. So what was that? An absolutely terrible gray warrior weapon, an absolutely terrible gray mage weapon, and oh, what's that? A green warrior helmet? Oh, that's so helpful for me. Looks like I'm gonna have to play more dungeons in order to get anything valuable. So, thank you all for watching. I'm gonna jump right back into it, and I will see you all for more Abyssal Void. Thanks for watching.